Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai with the Scramble for the Far East mod. Last time around I set out to reorganize the colony, and I said I was going to take a year off camera to do that, and I certainly have, as we're now making 121,000 per turn, and I've also gone ahead and upgraded stuff like the faction leader's army. He now has Silesian cuirassiers, and he also has Nassau infantry as the bulk of his troops. I think we've also managed to get up another army around here. The Hanoverian army has now made it to the front. What else? We have one regular army over there, and then the Hessian army over there. I think I've got another one on the way, if I'm not mistaken. I set this up a few days ago. We have this new guy. Yes, we're building a new one, which is the Oldenburg army, which will be sent down there as well. Now, I am probably going to need tier 2 units fighting the French, but as much as possible going down south through Japan, we're going to be using the current armies as we hold. Other things that happens in between is that I've taken control of the Mino area because it has a train station, so I decided to push through and take that, because otherwise the closest train station is the one down here in Totomi, so brought me closer to the front, and holding that, being able to set that up pretty nicely. We've also, in taking Mino, reduced the Guju clan down to a single province, and I forced them into vassalage. So they are my vassal, holding the province of Ki down here in the south, and yet to join me in any wars, but they're out of the picture in terms of fighting. Currently, we're also at peace with the British, and so the only one we have a proper front with is the Yodo clan, and those are the ones we're going to deal with today, although I do think that we're just a few turns away from going into hostile war with the British once more. I'm thinking we're not actually going to push the British in this area, because I'm hoping that I'll be able to do exactly what I did with the Americans. Or what I did with the Americans, I'm hoping I can do the same with the British. Now when I think about it, what we did with the Americans, what we left their capital for the very last. I was hoping I could get the British to set up over here in Ize, because it's T, and it's also kind of out of the way. I'm a little bit unsure which area is, if Tamba is the main British area, or which one really is the main sort of British area. Oh, it might be this one actually. This could work actually, as long as the trains don't pass through it. I think we can make sure that we take this last, and then we set them up as a vassal, the same with the Americans. With that said, we're gonna start this off by doing this siege, which I will do off camera, and then we'll see about having this army right here going after this one, and then also making our way down here, doing this siege right here. So there isn't a lot set up for this episode, although I'm thinking that we'll go up against the British again pretty soon. I do think they're quite unhappy with me. Let's go ahead and take a look, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're hostile, minus 313. I think if we no, we can't actually select them by hostility, but I think they're probably one of the ones that we got. Oh, we're at war with the Russians. I completely forgot about that, because they're on the other side of the world almost, or on the side of the map, and I mean, they're not really posing much of a threat, are they? I was able to end the war with the Netherlands, and I'm hoping that we can extend that to ending the war with the Sacho Alliance, which I've gifted 10,000 gold, so you can see gift appreciated plus 100, so we're only at minus 32. So I was hoping I could get peace with them, just because it's kind of pointless to be at war with them. I've been in war with them forever, and, you know, they're down here in the corner. There's nothing for that. I was able to quickly, for a short period, actually ally with the Sado Islands. However, I can't remember who declared war on me again, and they broke off. So we're going to invade the island, because they have broken off their alliance with me. Let's see, so they are actually kind of hostile towards me. They're unfriendly. So that's going to be the first target of this new Oldenburg army, is going to be to invade the Sado Island. And we'll see how that goes. But with that said, let's jump straight into it, shall we? And attack this castle. We've got so many howitzers lined up to join in this fight that I'm sure this will go quite quickly, because it will absolutely just devastate their castle. With that said, let's draw the sword and go to war. Not a particularly difficult fight. We were able to get in and take control of the inner castle and then fire on the lower bits. Wonderful. Being able to deploy 17,000 men against that fort, plus 6 batteries of howitzers, definitely made this quite the easy victory. Although I did have these 2 Brunswickens, unfortunately, standing in the way of the enemy's howitzers. Could probably have moved them out of the way, and we'd cut that number in half. But there we go. At this point, I could possibly, you know, make them into my vassal. However, it cuts through directly through the train line, and I want to have that unimpeded by any sovereignty, by any means. At this point, I could possibly, for the best outcome possibly, without having to fight any of these idiots. It's all cavalry, by the way. It's all cavalry. Huh. It's all cavalry and cannons, more or less. I could move this army into the woods, see about ambushing them. Unfortunately, we're out of moves with all of these forces, but we should be able to rather rapidly move into the next province. Although there isn't actually any road there, so I would have to move through British territory. If I'm lucky enough, the British might declare war on me in the next turn, and then I have no problem marching through their territory to get to the last position here. Or if I just... No, of course the train line goes through there. Otherwise, I could probably force the Yodo clan to become my vassal. We just took their silver. They're relegated to nothing but this little crap province. But I guess I'll take it all. Well, the British didn't declare war on us, and the Yodo clan is not really moving back to take control of this area. Instead, they're staying up sort of in this border region, which seems rather odd. We're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a more forward position towards them to hold the choke point right here. Meanwhile, the rest of the army is gonna move down to take the next area and completely end the clan. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and declare war on the British soon enough, because, well, they are not declaring war on me. I have seen large... Oh, there we go. I have seen. There we go, there's the big formation of British troops. We gonna have this spy keep a tab on these guys, see where they're going. Given that they're all in this area, holding them as a choke point here would be a good idea. So to have maybe two armies, maybe the faction leader and the second army under Hinkle, Himley I mean, it will be moving down to hold them off at this castle right here, while we move through quickly then, as most of their other areas should be without a lot of guards, so we should be able to quickly move through, or at least capture the most important bit, which is to capture Kyoto and take that under our control, as that is one of the victory regions. At the same time, I know some people are very interested in sort of the economic side, or what I'm doing with building up my provinces. So currently, I set aside a lot of money to build up a lot of cities, so we can see a lot of them being built out to the 4th level. So it's a lot of cities up north, and either I'm focusing for public space, which I'm pushing towards, let's see if I got one of those, towards research centers, so that gives you extra % in civil technology research, which is great. It also gives happiness and pretty good wealth per turn, the growth there. Not as much in I like the research center, and then right below it says more sake now. It's college kids everywhere just drinking it up. No, but we're building a lot of those to increase that rate. We also have, let's see if I can find them, military doctrine universities. I'll see about building one of those in the main province, Niigata. So we'll see about getting one of those, but these offer the same as the research centers, but they offer for military technology, so we are increasing that. In terms of technology right now, I'm going for neo-psychology, because I need a lot of happiness and happiness and repression, which apparently go hand in hand in this case. We use psychology to, on one hand, to make the populace more happy. At the same time, it gives us more leverage to repress them. There's some certain concerns in certain areas about the sort of the public order, but we are keeping most areas under control. The biggest areas were Musashi. We had quite a bit of problem before. And it's going to increase as I'm building out the train line as well. So we've got, instead of you know, the areas go basically being different train companies in between the different areas, like one company is operating in between Totomi and Shirunga, so like one company operates through there, then another one through here. So instead we'll have one nationalized train company that controls everything, and that should smooth things out, and we'll have faster trains going through, so we'll be able to travel a lot faster. With that said, let's go and end turn and see if now the British go ahead and declare war on us. I'm continuing to shadow the British army, and it seems to be moving in the wrong direction. I also realized why the British hadn't declared war on me. It's because, as the last peace deal we had, we exchanged military access. I've gone ahead and revert that now, so hopefully we'll see war come soon. If not, I could have my spies start to attack infrastructure, British infrastructure, and in that giving them a pretext for declaring war on me. At the same time, I'm reorganizing the armies, so we now have the armies, the faction leader and the second army here moving down towards Ise. Then we have one of our best generals, but also my least loyal one. Moving down here, followed tightly by the Sun and Air, and then we have the Brunswickens setting up to holding the road here between Omi and Kyoto. And we kind of, this spy right here has lost track of the enemy armies in this area. One smaller one has moved up here, and then the remains of the cannons that were stationed here has moved here. Although not a major concern for this right now. With that said, let's go ahead and turn once more, and now we might have the British declare war on us. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and siege this, take that out, and then declare war on them ourselves. Wait, what faction is this? Imawa Nikunya. Ah, they are at war with the British, perhaps. Or we're pretty friendly with them, although they're still at war with us. They are at war with the British as well, and that might be why the British are moving that way. Also, it seems like they might very well be losing territory towards this faction moving through. Anyways, with all of that said, let's once more go ahead and end turn. Well, here I was, thinking that the British were in trouble, when in fact they are the trouble, because they captured this province, and as you can see they're also laying siege to this one right here, so it seems like they are on the offensive, capturing enemy territory left, right and center. Could be the time to strike then. I wonder if maybe we should allow most of this army actually to travel across this bridge right here and end up on this side before we start striking at the British forces. But first things first is to deal the final blow at the Yodo clan. I'm a little bit worried here because if I'm not able to do it, then there's a newly recruited courtesan. Now, even though she is just 1 star, my upstart general has only 1 loyalty. But I'm sure we'll go ahead and take over the Inga province and expand our kingdom even further. Another decisive victory. This time around I only lost 24 men, while the enemy lost their entire force, and with that the Yodo clan is destroyed. Seemingly I have a hard time finding a proper land battle to sort of tie the knot together in this video. We're gonna go ahead and move around a little bit, and hopefully we might be able to draw into battle with the British soon enough, even if it is that I am reluctantly gonna have to declare war on them rather than the other way around. Right, off and away. Let's go ahead and find this opportunity. Not exactly how I wanted it to come about, but here we go. We're starting a new chapter. The subjugation of the British colony. We'll enter on the side of our vassal and declare war on the United Kingdom. Rather odd stipulations from the Russians here. They want us to break our trade agreement with, I don't know, I guess might be one of the smaller islands. I'm not entirely sure who that is even. A funny side note to this is that Russia is at war with the United States, and I went down to the United States colony. They are building an invasion force, and they have already put it on ships. So there might be an American invasion of Russia. But as far as your peace and breaking a trade agreement, no. Sod off. Not an ideal situation here to start a war. I was hoping that most of this army had moved across here, and that I could safely basically take everything on this side of the river. But that looks not to be. My vassal is organized and they are on the move. Also, down here, note that there's a small force sitting here, right by the rail tracks, ready to ambush me as I move across. However, that will not impede us, as we will move straight towards the center here. As there's no longer as many troops down here, I'm wondering if I actually need more generals going down this route. So I'm gonna put you going towards sort of the center push here instead. So we got 4 armies here, because it's gonna be a harrowing fight across this area. At the same time, I am detaching some of... This is units from an old army. I don't know if it's the general's army or if the faction heir's army. But I'm detaching these troops from this area, quite a lot of them, and we're going to put them together with troops from this, and then we're going to attack this area, because this area is sort of on its own in terms of what the British have here, and as you can see, it doesn't have much of a garrison. So I should be able to take this kind of on its own. Now, unfortunately, we are at war with a clan right next to it, and have been for quite a while. Oh! There's 2 British forces that made an attack on this area. Oh, and we've got another one coming in right here. So it's not completely out of the way of what's going on in this area, but it's sort of. I want to just go ahead and push forwards here, see a little bit. They've got Great Britain's got a lot of forces everywhere, so it's going to be important to take a look at what they've got here. So they moved away a lot of the troops they had here. This is of course the main concentration that we need to keep an eye on. I don't know if they've got anything down here, but I don't think so. Let's organize the navy, lay some fire here onto the town to kind of open that up. Although, I will probably do this siege off camera, as I can push forwards. The general just leave the cannons behind and have them come in as a reinforcement, so we will be able to lay the siege there. But I'm thinking we'd do that off camera. At the same time, I mean, there is quite the opportunity to push forwards towards Kyoto and try and seize that before the British realize what's up. But I think holding the bridge here is a good start. Feels like this army is low on troops. Is this one smaller than the others? I don't know, it isn't actually. Alright, Himley will go ahead and join him down there. At the same time, this feels like it's a trap, like there's British hiding in the woods here. And I definitely don't want to end up in a trap. We're gonna start moving that way anyways. I'm gonna start moving troops. And we don't have... Oh, that's one of the things. I don't know why they don't, like, follow the general. I get it in some sense if you've put someone there specifically to sort of hold the place down. But it's a little bit odd. We're gonna send troops from this area, so we're gonna send 4 of them. Actually, what I can do is I can send 4 here, and then I can take 4 from this area and send them down there. So we'll make that happen, and then I think we'll detach all the Marines. Plus, I think we're only gonna really need 4 units to hold that. Now, this is an army without a general, but it's still gonna be pretty powerful moving through here. And that's it for the first turn of this war. Now the interesting bit is what the British are gonna do in response to this, because they haven't been able to respond to the fact that we are now at war. But we'll see. Also, an interesting thing, a little thing, tidbit. So I had... This is what I gained through normal tax. When I lower it to low, I actually make more money somehow. I'll make about 20,000 more. My income increases, but at the same time, like, the public happiness increases because the tax is lower. I don't know, is this trickle-down economics? Or is what's going on? Anyways, let's go ahead and end turn and see how the British respond. Good forward thinking of me there. We've got an army. I'm not entirely sure where this army came from, but it did, because it might have come from the south. I completely missed where this one come from anyways. We're holding the bridge though, which should give a definite advantage, although we need to keep in mind that about half the enemy force does outrange us. So a lot of these tier 2 units outrange my troops. However, I would say that I have an advantage in cannons and cavalry and general ability of fighting the force. And of course, we're holding a river crossing, which is the biggest advantage I've got. With that said, let's draw into battle and defend this bridge. Would you look at that? We had the time to even prepare defenses. However, they're nowhere close to the choke point, and that's the most important bit to hold. But we'll have at least these lines to fall back on in case we get to this. But that, I would say that we would be in pretty dire condition if we have to fall back to here. The key point is to hold this crossing point right here. Normally there's also a bridge, but I guess there's no bridge, there's just this one crossing, so their entire army has to cross through here. Which is... I wish I had this on my side of the river. That would be a lot better to defend, because not only would they have to cross through here, the entire army coming up, as soon as they came up over here, I could have multiple lines stationed on this, firing down upon them. Anyways, let's go ahead and start.
Okay, sir, we defend.
We're gonna have starting by having 4 units rushing forwards, and then we're gonna have an additional 4 units behind them, and behind them, you guessed it, we're gonna have an additional 4 units, and then I'm gonna have, let's put 1 on the hill maybe. Actually, there is where I'm gonna be putting the cavalry and my general, and that 1 unit that was ending that way is going to instead be moved towards the flank. Alright, the British are on the move. Since I won't be able to hold this, I kind of want to set this on fire. We're nowhere close to it though, unfortunately. Can I fire on it? Let's see if I can see the house even. We'll have to aim pretty high. I'm going to have to aim quite a lot higher if I want to hit that. Yeah, and we got nowhere close. However, I can fire up the side of these and destroy them that way. Okay, they're coming across. And they are firing at us. They do have longer range. We're gonna pull back. Oh, we've already lost 100 men out of that unit. And here comes their artillery as well. What we want is, I think, to neutralize their range advantage, is to be able to set up so that we are firing upon them as soon as they cross up through here instead. Right. Focus in on the units that are coming up. And then all the units here in the back should hold fire, and then everyone should be on... right, and then a little bit better formations here. Like, get the troops more in a formation like this. And that could work better. And the thing here also is, I think we want... Because I've fought other battles against the British, and the thing is when, or like just on any sort of force that's equal to us, is that they're like, when they fire, obviously bullets gonna miss and go through, and they're gonna hit the units behind. So you end up losing tons of units in the back. I was hoping I could set that on fire. Right, yeah. As soon as they come up over there, we bombard them, the volleys go in, and we kind of shock them into submission. That was a conscript infantry though, so it wasn't a proper British unit. But I think we can keep that up. And then we have the units on the flanks, so we don't have to worry about it. And in case we desperately need it, we can try and open up this side. Actually, what I can do is I can probably get some units hidden down there, open up the sides here, and get all the cavalry then storming down towards this area. Maybe I should silence their guns. Not so much that they're killing my troops, but because they're causing kind of unrest among these ones. Right, so we are breaking them. The thing here, though, is I don't want to face them again, so I kind of want to kill all of them. Which is going to be a slight problem if we keep doing it this way. But I should count my blessings, I guess, as we are winning the battle. You can't get everything. As the battle draws to a close, I could definitely be ordering my cavalry forward to try and catch them as they're retreating. There's still a lot. They're coming one by one, crossing the bridge in a very, or there isn't a bridge, there's just a river crossing, in a very awkward way, aren't they? And they're taking their time. You know, I'm gonna move a battery just because I want to set fire to that house, and then also I want a better angle to fire the shrapnel shot, so I can actually fire it up the flank of the units. Actually, we've moved both artillery pieces. Okay, now a few more of them are actually surviving here. I'm gonna get you up. So we get a 5th unit firing on the enemy. Now they're firing back, doing a bit of damage. They're passing by the house as well. Right, I want you up there, and then I want you to hurry towards the hill. The thing though is, the longer they hold, it just means that more of them are gonna die. Which is what we want, don't we? Maybe I should send forwards the general to go ahead and support the troops. Right, more or less half their army is gone. I thought you would... Oh, because I haven't told you to fire at will, that's great. Then the rank wasn't a problem. Then inspire them, and then move back to safety. Let's see, did you get all the guns with you? Yes, you did. Good. This is going to be in the way of the cavalry charge that's going to come down the hill. So maybe we put them over here. I've got one gun ready already, so that's good. And I want your first shots to be fired on the pagoda. Why, sir? The enemy is right. Then the enemy isn't even by the pagoda. Well, I hate pagodas, that's why. And now I want you to fire the shrapnel on these as they close in. Right, actually a useful target. Sending in the Cameron Islanders, which contain the general of the British Army. And setting up the Grenadier Guards over here could be dangerous. move it a little bit forward. Are you firing? Because you've got a kind of a perfect angle. Oh no, it's behind the hill, isn't it? I didn't see that. Well, you can fire on this, can you? Maybe? Because that, well, one cannon seems to be able to fire that way. Or has maybe fired already. Oh, that's nice. Although, if it had the exploding a little bit higher, it could rip through more of the unit. It's a shame we weren't able to get proper shot off on these. There isn't a lot left. We should be able to soon release the cavalry going down the hill and attacking them. You've broken them yet? Maybe you should fire for the sepoys. Are you unwilling to fire the shrapnel because of the trajectory of the shrapnel shot? Okay, that unit was broken. You know what? Fired will then. The higher trajectory of the normal howitzer shot. Okay, I think it's kind of safe now to start preparing for the cavalry to move down, because most of the enemy force is breaking apart. Right, most of the enemy force has broken apart. The cavalry will be moved into action. We'll order them to hold fire. We got a nice artillery volley right at the end. And the last ones to hold is the Grenadier Guards. However, they are now faced by the Hussars. Which move down and bring us victory. It's a resounding victory. Nathaniel Sweeney, where it says Rolf Weiss. The British deployed about 1,000 men more than us, and however the losses tell a very stark difference. We lost close to 400 men, while the enemy lost close to 5,000 men. If I hadn't advanced too far in the beginning, that would probably have been even more. As we can see, the Hussars bring up the list of the amount of kills, but there are also some infantry up here as well. Notably, some of the Hussar units actually lost a couple of troops, or at least one Hussar unit lost 4 troopers. Interesting. But yeah, that was a great battle, and it's a great start to the war against the British. However, they've got plenty of more armies where these came from. Probably should have laid them under siege when I had the chance. They sally forth and attack me, and I don't really feel that I have the time for a second battle in this video, but I guess we'll go for it. Little bit of a different fight here. We're still facing the British, of course, and their advantage in range. However, we've got this slight hill, and I've set it up so my lifeguards here are able to fire roughly at the same time as the main line, which have dug in. And then I have ordered all the cuirassiers to be on this side, and they will swing around this hill and come into the flank of the enemy, rather than go through the town, which I think will be troublesome because the map kind of ends here and we don't get really the same cover. And I want to maximize the effect by bringing all through the same side. And I feel like we have, like the ground here is a lot flatter. Here we can avoid getting shot at for a lot longer, I feel like. We can, like the ground is raised for this hill, so we can get around the side. With that said, let's go ahead and start.
Okay, sir, we defend.
And let's take a look what we've got. Now immediately they're sending quite a bit of troops off to this side, and then they're advancing a lot of these guys. Rather than focusing in on the center, we should in fact focusing in on the side. The thing here is I might order first line to pull back and then move back forwards once the enemy is in range, and that way we won't have the enemy sitting out of range shooting at us. I was hoping that my charge would work well, like straight down through here. Okay, we're not ready for shrapnel shot. Which unit is the general one? Oh, it's over on this side. Cameron Highlanders again. Interesting. Is that a coincidence? I want to see the guards. Okay, so the guards have range up to there, and that's comparable to what the enemy's got. Maybe we should try and decapitate their army by aiming for the Cameron Highlanders, getting rid of them first. Right, we have a bit before it all goes to hell. Let's see. We took out the 2 banners, but the officer still marches. Why isn't all cannons firing? Come on, decapitate their army already. I'm desperately gonna need that. They keep missing him! Wait, where is he? We lost him. Oh, it's the wrong unit! Wait, where did the general unit go? Is it further out? Wait. Where did the general unit go? Why can't I see it any longer? Okay, they've started firing. I'm gonna order my troops up to the line. Why didn't it... or was it decapitated? I'm guessing it might have been decapitated. I want to break up this side, because if I break up that side, it's going to be easier for my cavalry to swing in on their line. Currently, it doesn't look too good. I can actually have these troops move up the hill, possibly. Alright, the line is holding. I'm looking down here. Oh, they're actually shooting through and hitting this unit. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and inspire these. Let's bring the general forward a little bit. Support the troops. Alright, these guys seem to be turning in towards the center, which is good. General will retire. Even with their advantage, it was very much neutralized by our fortifications and my clever ruse of drawing them in so that we have an equal range. They're really firing at the guards, but I guess they realize those are the ones that are in the open. I don't want to lose any more men of the guards, so I'm gonna order the advance of the cuirassiers a little bit sooner than I wanted. We got 3 British regiments already retreating. Got another one retreating the wrong way. Okay, here comes the heavy cavalry. Turn out and destroy them, and then I want you up on the hill supporting this. And you will continuously blast that area with shrapnel shot. Right, the heavy cavalry have hit its mark and it's starting to break up the flank. Meanwhile, this side is breaking up as well. However, we're suffering quite heavy along this line. I believe they're firing through the flank. I'm gonna order these troops to retreat through the line here. Kind of move down to this side. Heavy cavalry very tired here. Probably should mix in some light cavalry just to make sure that we can... Coldstream Guard here is really holding on, aren't they? The heavy cavalry will be moved down. The infantry will be moved around like this. Continue to blast these bastards out there. And let's see if we can maybe can shoot them down. Alright. Send the heavy cavalry. The thing is, actually, in this battle, I want them to retreat back to the castle. Because then we won't be met with fresh garrison troops. Instead, it'll be the remnants of this battle that we'll have to face. Interesting how this center has been able to hold, while everything other around it seems to crumble. Holy shit, this Coldstream Guard really tore through that unit. Also, I realized that the heavy cavalry While I'm sure they've got pretty good stats, they're rather slow, and it might be very useful to have... Oh, we got more. They're basically running up my flank here. I'm gonna order these troops back. And we were victorious there. And I'll refocus the guards onto this side. And then we'll use shrapnel to break these. One of our units were broken, but it's not destroyed. The thing also as well, like the Nassau infantry is fresh. Like this is their first battle. So that has to be taken into account as well. Make sure that I target correctly. And break these. Now the guards are set and they're ready to shoot them down. We'll focus on the last unit, and there we go. Even with the enemy having the advantage of us, it's some advantage, I would say, we were still able to be victorious. And there we go. Victory. Quite a different story to tell from this battle, where the enemy once again outnumbered us, but this time with around 2,000 men. The people dead after the battle is a lot similar. So we lost 2,000 men against about 4,000 of the enemy. Still remaining is 3,500 enemies, and we still have an army of 3,800 men. Hopefully this works as I wanted it, and we don't get fresh reinforcements for the castle. Now when I think about it as well, I mean, the troops that were retreating have quite a bit higher morale than the garrison troops, so it might have been better to face the fresh raised garrison troops instead of sort of numerically lower guard units, but still guard units. In terms of kills, it's the Life Guard that topped the list, followed by Cuirassiers. Although I think we should probably mix this up a little bit. I'm thinking we'll transfer some Hussars, or what I'm thinking is the Lancers. There's an army that has Lancers, so 2 Lancer units could be transferred. And so both these armies will have 2 Silesian Cuirassiers and 2 Lancers instead of 4 Lancers and 4 cuirassiers. Rolf even got a star for that battle. Rather nice. Military advisor increased in rank. Our assassins are all detected. Courtesan increase in rank, and we've got summer. Right. I've done plenty in this episode. I'm thinking we're gonna end it right now, but let's just take a look at what the situation is. So our ally, a vassal, is moving through. Looks like they're gonna bypass this and go for the armies, which I like. At the same time, their navy is attacking the British port down here, which I don't really see how they're gonna be able to make any damage there. The big cluster that was here have split up, and most of it has moved into this area. Now I'm thinking the best way to deal with them is to move back to the castle and defend that, and also lay an ambush in the woods around here and hopefully have one of those succeed. At the same time, we got there, actually, that this is their faction leader, and this is the army that I won against. We've got another army over there. Now, we could definitely, in between episodes, move in, take Kyoto, and then I could also make some improvements towards here, and also take Izen. So we've got that. But for next episode, what I'm looking at is probably to break down this right here, and then we'll set up defenses around here. And yeah, we'll see what happens as we go through here. What I'm thinking is I'll start off maybe next episode by showing cinematics of this battle, because I want to show when we use all the naval bombardment from these ships, and I also want to show kind of how the city layout of Kyoto looks like. But with that said, I'm gonna end it right here, and so hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.